All right. Hey, Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Rachakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings to all you Wakim out there who pushing his word with all truth and sincerity, and as well as to all you believers out there who believe on the gospel. And it's a couple of brothers from the Great Millstone Houston camp. I'm my brother Korah Abad. And as always, we got the beloved of the Tazapah as well.
Shalom.
And the Wadi Yahweh Bashim Yahushai for blessing us with another opportunity, once again to come forth and prophesy, to bring forth this news. And which is a lot going on. Is on all aspects of prophecy, whether it's World War III information, whether it's the MOTB, with the digital system, whether it's Esau being exposed for his wickedness that he's doing in the earth. Like this quick little article right here, Lord willing, we touch on how America allies are separating from them. The many different things that's happening, which is going to lead us into the end of the world and the coming of Yahushua, man. And one scripture we always quote is, be not ignorant of anything small or great. What people would think is minor news, we know according to prophecy, all things go play into the end game, the word being fulfilled, man. So before we hop into it, Tazapah, you had anything?
No, not yet.
Khan. So we'll start it with this, and Shalom to Allah Akim, Akwath, that's tuning in, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Barakatham.
Shalom.
Khan. So we'll hop into it. The title is Thursday Live, various topics, heat wave and earthquakes and police drones. Right. So we'll hop into the various topics first, which is some World War III news. Now, as we mentioned last week, you had Trump supposedly trying to talk to Iran, because a lot of stuff you can't even believe. Like they got Trump and Netanyahu so-called beefing right now.
Right.
It's like they really beefing. And Trump cursing them out, and Netanyahu trying to take the humble approach, and it's all theater. But at the end of the day, you had Trump, as they put it out, he trying to make peace talks with Iran. And like you said before we started, Elder Tazapah, really nobody want what's going on. Not even Iran want to fight and keep going back and forth. It's the small hats that's driving this thing forward. And in this America and the small hats really getting they tails handed to them. Like today, Elder Tazapah sent me a video today. Iran just hit a ship. One of them, was it American ship, huh?
Man, I would believe, right? I would believe. Like I said, that was fresh. That's some fresh news. So I saw half of it.
Yep. But again, it's the small hats, which that's according to prophecy, leading America into war. Nobody really want this, but they willing to take it there to defend themselves and their country, man. But you've been having Trump trying to do these peace talks, but something always happened. And it's been said that the small hats gonna be the one to continue to do stuff, so it ain't gonna be no peace deal. Matter of fact, I read this article real quick.
Right, and I'd say this, it would make sense, it being a U.S. ship, but I just can't confirm it right now for sure. But yeah, you got the link in there though, right?
I ain't got it up. I can get it up though.
Yeah, okay, cool. Whenever you get the time. So they can check it out, because the video posted maybe 4 hours ago. 4 or 5 hours ago.
I can get it right now.
But I mean, that's the only one they really beefing with. So it would have to be, an Israeli or a U.S. ship.
I got it. I'm about to put it in the chat right now so they can check it out. This is the video I'm talking about.
It was cargo. It wasn't military. It was a cargo ship.
Can I read this real quick? It says, this was put out 5 days ago. It says, intelligence agencies warns Trump that Israel is likely to undermine the Iran deal. Again, they're going to keep doing stuff so that it can't go through, which we know Thessalonians say it ain't going to be no peace. Won't be no peace. But destruction and certain things will keep happening after they talk about peace. And that's what we're seeing. But real quick, it says, one official familiar with the assessment explained that Netanyahu is seen as unwilling to withdraw troops from Lebanon or de-escalate fighting with Hezbollah. I read this too. It says Netanyahu's political survival is linked to showing his domestic audience that he will not withdraw troops from Lebanon and that he is intent on escalating fighting with Hezbollah. So according to that, he ain't stopping. Not according to that, according to prophecy, he ain't gonna stop. They ain't gonna stop. This is backing up what the scriptures say.
That's it.
But to go back to this one, so again, they try to have talks again after all this, but Trump had to run his mouth one more time. So it says Iranians walk out of peace talks following Trump threats. Again, he don't know when to shut his mouth. It said if they don't make a deal, there will be consequences like they've never seen before. I'm gonna go to this one. He said some other stuff. This was put out on the 21st. Where is that? Trump said, check out how he talking. It says, Trump made the comments during an interview with the network's chief foreign correspondent, Trey Yingst. Trump stated that he had explicitly cautioned Iran leadership against any move by the IRGC, which is the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, to shut down a vital waterway through which a massive volume of global oil passes daily. He emphasized the potential consequences in uncompromising terms. This is what he said. He said, you close it and you won't have a country. Trump said, you won't even make it back to your effing country. And he says, potentially acting as a guardian angel. He said, if they don't make a deal, we'll collect tolls. So they said, forget it. And then they hit a cargo ship. Iran said, forget it until they hit a cargo ship. You see, but things go keep happening. That's going to have to escalate them going to war. You got something
by the small heads.
Right.
They ain't going to let it die. See? And that's a fulfillment of prophecy. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 45. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that he had taken against Babylon, which today that's America. All right. Spiritually, America is Babylon. All right. And ideology, philosophy, you name it. All right. As well as other kingdoms that came up. But America is, and it goes further, that virgin daughter of Babylon. All right. So this is an offshoot. This is that virgin daughter. But this is who the scripture is speaking about. All right. So again, Jeremiah 50 and 45, therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord that he had taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he had purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. You want to go into it? But anyway, the least of the flock is talking about the Israelis. All right. And not even all the Israelis are down with this war. You hear Apostle Tahar speak about it. You know, you got, it's different sects of these so-called Israelis. And Apostle Tahar say he cool with some of them small hats. They not all like these that are pushing this Zionist agenda. All right, which that's an ideology. It's really like a white supremacy ideology. All right, but all the small hats benefit from what the Zionists are doing, but they're not all in agreement. All right, so you got even some small hats that ain't with this nonsense, and not to mention all these other countries, man. They like, man, when is enough enough? All right, everybody know Hezbollah is a U.S. creation, all right, U.S. Mossad creation. Maybe you could even throw in MI5 or MI6 in that. All right. There were no terrorism groups before Esau took his ass in the Middle East. There were no ISIS, Hezbollah, or Al Qaeda before the Edomite, brother, get border of wickedness in Malachi, before he took his ass over there. People was coexisting. So much so that when these goddamn, the least of the flock needed somewhere to stay when they was under persecution, over in the Soviet Union. Salakia. It was the Palestinians that opened their homes to them to give them refuge. And now today, they're taking them same people who had a kind heart towards these devils, they taking them to war. They're taking them to war. For what? For being nice. They was being nice. And you see how nice come back to bite you in the ass? You got to be smart. You got to be wise. You can't be nice. People get played. All right. And so yeah, they didn't know they was the devil back then when they said, we'll welcome y'all. Y'all come on, you know, come on. They welcomed them with open arms. So let's say they didn't know they was the devil. All right, which that was a mystery. So they wouldn't have known. But I mean, really, they should have. They should have known these people's, the history was there. But let's say they didn't. At some point in time, you got to say, man, these people got to go. But anyway, get that Malachi for me,
and it's Malachi 1:4. It says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build a desolate places.
Yeah, they was impoverished.
It says, thus saith the Lord of hosts.
Right quick, they was impoverished. The Dark Ages, what they put that name on it, which was the Byzantine Empire. All right. And you had the Moors come out of that and start flourishing out of this millennium. Right after Rome fell, Jake took over and brought some decency back to the earth, some order, some civilization back to the earth. All right. And you have to shed blood to do it. But then they got to a point where civilization was thriving and flourishing. All right. But these devils had to be loosed out of their season a little bit. But while we was flourishing, what were they? They were impoverished. That's why you think they got us in the ghettos, the barrios, all the poor sections of town. They wanted to return the favor. They trying to render unto the Heavenly Father a recompense, as well as us. So they got us impoverished for no reason. Because we do everything in this God-forsaken society. We should have enough to live. But they got us impoverished now. But before this, we, the children of Israel, you Negroes, Latinos, you Native Americans, had them impoverished. This is what the brother is reading about. All right? Because they said, you know what, when we get, and that was Genesis 27, when thou had break the yoke from off him, I'll look that up right quick. But read that for me.
Malachi 1:4 says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build a desolate places.
That's so we are. This is Babylon. They built, they built the image, all right, as in Revelation, as it stated, the image of the beast, which had the wound with a deadly wound by a sword, and yet live. That's what they returned to build. The image of ancient Rome, which makes this Rome 2.0, but that fourth beast of Daniel chapter 7 revised. Okay. And then you go to Daniel chapter 2, you're dealing with the feet and the toes now. Part of iron and part miry clay. What was the iron from? Ancient Rome, the legs of iron. So we got Rome here trying to reassert itself, but from prophecy, Daniel chapter 2, it says it ain't gonna work because the sons of men are not going to jive with what they got going on, as we see in all of this mess that's happening. All right. The seed of the sons of men ain't with this shit. They see them going for the conquest, greater Israel, and all this other stuff. And so it's going to be interesting to see how all of this is going, how the lid going to blow off of it, you know, because it's so many pressure points right now that could blow. So it's interesting to see what's going to tip this over the edge. Okay. So read that out, and I'll go here.
Okay. Malachi 1:4 says, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build up desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness and a people against whom the Lord have indignation forever.
See, and that was the point about the border of wickedness. They come in and set up shop. They bring in wickedness. All right. And so, yeah, they destroyed the Middle East. They destroyed all of Africa, impoverished all the people there. And shit, Babylon, you can forget it. This is home of chaos. This is a house of, well, that's Babylon. The home of confusion. The house of chaos. Women run amok. Men act like women. And they run amok. This place is throwed, man. This shit is throwed off. I ain't never seen no shit this goddamn crazy. I see how, you know, the prophet saw this and was sick and couldn't believe it. Ezekiel said, Lord, thou knowest. The Most High said, can these bones live? He couldn't even answer it. He said, Lord, you know all things, you know, because he couldn't answer that. But yeah, that was it, Salaki, man. I'm going
Now you good.
Let me see here right quick, just to bring this out. All right. Okay, here it is. Oh, that ain't it. I'm gonna have to get to. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna play this video real quick.
Go ahead.
Gerald Celente pretty much saying things gotta happen, gonna have to happen. They're gonna have to force things pretty much. Let's play
it. What does that mean for the conflict?
Oh, let me play it back.
It's not over. What does that mean? What does that mean for the conflict and geopolitics moving forward?
This is serious, and again, go back to the Ukraine war. We're under genocide. Joe Biden, our country sent them almost $300 billion to keep the war going, and now Europe sending more and more money to Ukraine to keep the war going. World War III has already begun. It's going to be official when there's like a false flag event.
You hear him out. And this was a day ago, this video. He said it's really already begun, you know, little skirmishes here and there, proxy wars. I know that reality, he going to that often. Would you say?
Yeah, I agree. There's war around the world. It really is war all around the world. You know, with China, and Japan, and Taiwan. You know, China and Japan got smoked. And of course they want to take over Taiwan. There's tensions right there. We know Russia and Ukraine, they're still hot. And then, you know, that Strait of Hormuz, that's where everybody gonna end up. And shit. Well, here in America, you know, down South Central, they took over Venezuela, but Yeah, it's because all of the major powers are, joining in, contributing by either, giving money or weapons or military equipment. That's what makes it a world war. Everybody's participating in some shape, form, or fashion, you know? So you literally, it doesn't have to be war all over the world, but that's how it's going to end up. But you got the major players, all right, vested into these wars, which is serving, a purpose for one people, or a few families. I'll put it like that. But go ahead,
Khan, hey, Shalom Tala Akim, Aqua, that's tuning in. Y'all Bashima Shabrakatham. See the other Yashawama on there too. Y'all Bashima Shabrakatah. But I continue this video because what he gonna say is it's already started, but you're gonna need a false, FLAGS, things like that. And remember, we read the article earlier. Iran said, well, it was said that Israel was gonna do anything they need to undermine a peace deal, so they could fake something.
Europe sending more and more money to Ukraine to keep the war going. World War III has already begun. It's going to be official when there's like a false flag event, like a Pearl Harbor. A Pearl Harbor? Oh, those dirty Japanese. Google up Franklin Roosevelt seizes Japanese assets. On July 26, 1941, President Franklin Roosevelt seized all Japanese assets. You know why? Those Japanese invaded French Indochina. French Indochina? What the hell are the French doing in Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos? And you're calling it French Indochina? Oh, we're in Morocco, we're in Algeria, we're in 22 countries. Europe sending more and more money to Ukraine to keep the war going. World War III has already begun. It's going to be official when there's like a false flag event.
You see, so the war drum's beating right now, man. And I'll bring this out real quick too. It says Canada Prime Minister just said Europe will build a new world order. And it's funny, I was reading this because not everybody want to be prophets. Everybody want to be prophets. Especially this guy here who owned this page, End Time Headlines, him with the glasses on. But the thing is, I was reading this article, and as I was reading, I was thinking of Revelation 17, and he mentioned it at the end, which shows a lot of these people really learning. A lot of these so-called Christians who got a problem with the Israelites, but they learning prophecy from the Israelites, though, and taking it and trying to make it like they've been saying it. So what's said right here is that Europe said this, and this also goes into prophecy. It says he highlighted the combined strength of Canada, and that he is talking about the Canadian Prime Minister. It says he highlighted the combined strength of Canada and Europe as one of the world's most formidable blocs across economic, cultural, technological, financial, and military spheres. In a notable statement, Carney declared the new world order will be built starting with Europe. And what you're starting to see too, a lot of these nations acting like they racing. Like they are racing to be leaders of the NWO, which that's part of it, 2nd Ezra 15. But they really speeding up they on the same accord though. They rushing it all over. But why this went into prophecy is because, and I read what he said, it says one passage states, hold on, where is that? Right. The 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings which have received no kingdoms as of yet, but they receive authority from 1 hour as kings with the beast. These are of one mind, and they will give their power and authority to the beast. And when you go into that, that's the EU, the European Union, who was once down with Babylon the Great because the Lord had them following America. But eventually it said in Revelation 17, they was going to depart and have their own mind. And not, this is part of it. They said, now we going to start it, But at the end of the day, this all is forwarding the digital system. They trying to rush it. China trying to rush it, America trying, everybody rushing. You see, everybody rushing, and 2nd Ezra 15 said as they trying to fight, that's going to bring them into World War III. I kind of want to get it. That's going to bring them into World War III. And then once those two things happen, the fight for, I got to get it. Second Ezra 15, to fight for a new system because of World War, and who gonna be the leader? That's gonna bring Jacob's trouble, man. Second Ezra 15 and 14 in the GNT. It says the world and the people in it are doomed. The war, what is that? World War III. The war that will bring their destruction is very near. So World War III will be going on. And at the same time, it says, and nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. There will be great political turmoil, with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. So as World War III gonna be going, the beginning stages of it, as we see, gonna begin to form, it says that it was gonna be great political turmoil. We seeing that. And at the same time, it says that one group was going to try to overpower another and gain control. What control of what? Of this new digital system. Of the new digital system. And they're going to be doing what? While ignoring the legitimate government, forgetting the old way of doing things. This is the new world order. So as they go try to fight for that, it says, and there will no longer be free access to the cities, because the struggle for power, this race, will bring destruction, terror, and total confusion wherever people live, driven by famine and terrible suffering, and people will assault their neighbors and mercilessly plunder their possessions. So these things coincide with one another. The new World War III and this digital system. The fight for these things gonna bring Jacob's trouble, man, and the end of this current age that we're in right now. But that was just Zaquan Salaki for being long-winded. You had anything?
No, you good, brother. No, yeah, I was gonna bring out this here in Genesis. This is chapter 27, verse 38, and it goes with what you read a while ago, and of course to line up with Malachi 1 and 3 and 4. It says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shall serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So right, he broke the yoke, and he went about to bring this one world nightmare, because unto him was given the fatness of the earth. All right, so now he's bringing about all of this terror, all of this lawlessness, disease, and as just as you just read, it's going to be, because it'll be a power vacuum created, all right, with the transferring of the systems. But Esau already got that on lock. But that ain't gonna stop people from, striving for position and power. But right, it's always, at the changing of the guard, that little narrow window where you could turn things in your favor, possibly, or get a good foothold in this new paradigm that's to come. And that's why you read Psalms too. They say, why do the heathen rage? They don't know our kingdom is coming. We taking this thing over. But go ahead, brother, you got it.
Now that's it. So that was it for the various topics portion of it, and we'll hit the next portion, which is heat wave and earthquakes. And again, we starting to see, I think we talked about that last week, how the Lord don't only use sicknesses and war as judgment upon the people, but he can use his own creation as far as the earth itself, the sun, and all these various things that he have created to judge people on the earth. Right. So you had this that was put out today, June 25th, from End Time Headlines. It says widespread alerts issued as deadly heat wave kills 250 in Europe. Come on, man. You see it? Yep, the Lord turning that heat up. It says at least 250 people have lost their lives across Europe amid a punishing heat wave that has triggered widespread alerts and pushed temperatures beyond 40 degrees Celsius in multiple countries. France, in particular, has borne a heavy burden, with Paris and surrounding areas facing extreme conditions that continue to threaten vulnerable populations. Right, it goes into it. Let's see what else they got in here. It says, unfortunately, our worst fears have come true. We have, and think about that, man. Them people ain't wake up thinking that the sun was gonna kill them. You know, they ain't think that's the Lord. That's the terror of the Lord, man. What that scripture is, and I think it's Isaiah 26 or 29. If a brother want to post the Bible Kashah, how he said it's gonna be earthquakes and pretty much hurricanes. I forget 29 and 6, maybe
29, yeah.
But the Lord uses the elements as judgment. I read this last little part. It says, unfortunately, our worst fears have come true. We have information about a workplace death, apparently due to heat strokes. So a lot of people have been dying for heat strokes, man. You know, out there, 250. And hey, it might still be going up. But that was it on that, just a highlight.
Yeah, I got Salaki. Isaiah chapter 29, verse 5. Moreover, the multitude of thy strangers shall be like small dust, and the multitude of the terrible ones shall be as the chaff that passeth away. Yea, it shall be at an instant, suddenly. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, and storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire.
Oh, God. As all of them, man, that's hurricanes. You know, that's your tempest, hurricanes. You got earthquakes, which you about to touch on that right now. And I love seeing these earthquakes. You know why? Because Yahushai's prophecy, man. Yahushai said earthquakes in diverse places. That's where that's found at. Yeah, the scriptures do say earthquakes like the other times apart, but Yahushai, he said that he gave us that hint about the end. Remember, Peter and them asked him, they said, Lord, when shall these things be? About when the temple was going to be destroyed. You know, and it said, and what shall be the sign of thy coming? Yahushua told them things what they expect before 70 AD or during 70 AD, and also things to expect at the end of the world. One of them was earthquakes in diverse places. This is the Lord prophecy right here, man. You know, that's why it's exciting to see these things. But it says the fire and whatever the Tazapad read, people just died from the Lord turning the sun up, hurricanes, earthquakes. Come on, man. You about to say something?
No, you got it.
Con. So I read this one right here going into them earthquakes. It says from 2 days ago, June 24th, multiple earthquakes pop off around the globe. And these 3 major earthquakes, and look, this 3 major ones. You also have earthquake trackers, and you can find them. Earthquakes are happening nonstop. This was just the ones that was highlighted that really shook things up. But you had minor ones that happened in between these and still going on right now as we speak. But all these, and we'll read them, happened within 24 hours. I was on ChatGPT. I'll read this real quick. I said, did Japan, Venezuela, and California earthquakes happen within 24 hours? And what's the time? It says, yes, based on the reported timelines, the earthquake in Northern California, Venezuela, and Japan all occurred within roughly 8 to 12 hours of another on June 24th, 2026, inside a 24-hour period. It says Northern California was at 8 a.m., Venezuela 6 p.m., and Japan 7 p.m. Right? So I read a little bit into each one. This is North Japan. It says powerful 6.9 magnitude earthquake strikes off of northern Japan. And I read a little bit and we'll play a quick video and they'll sum it up. It says a strong earthquake struck off Japan's northern coast on Thursday, prompting immediate alerts from authorities, even as officials move quickly to assess any potential impacts. The Japan Meteorological Agency confirmed the event, emphasizing that while the tremor was significant, it did not trigger tsunami concerns. And that's another thing that could take place, tsunamis. It says the quake registered a preliminary magnitude of 6.9 and hit off the eastern coast of Iwate Prefecture. It struck at a depth of approximately 50 kilos, 30 miles, the agency reported. And then you had this one in Venezuela. It says tsunami alerts issued after back-to-back powerful earthquakes strike Venezuela. So they got it twice. Oh, and two, Elder Taza Pot, like you were saying, it just so happened in Venezuela at the time, America's so-called, claimed authority over. But it says two powerful. So, like, you about to say something?
Okay, no, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Kind of like it says two powerful earthquakes struck Venezuela on Wednesday, with the initial trembler registered at a magnitude of 7.2, followed almost immediately by a 7.5 magnitude quake. The back-to-back events, which struck in quick succession, have raised fears of significant damage across the region and triggered tsunami advisories for parts of the Caribbean, right? And so with an update on Venezuela, it says at least 164 are dead and nearly 1,000 injured after powerful twin quakes strike Venezuela. So the Lord doing damage with these things. And that's just what they found so far. That's just what they recovered. I'm sure it's buildings, they ain't get there yet. It's roads that's probably cracked, they can't get over there yet. And then you had the one right here in good old US of A. Oh, and speaking of that, I seen an article earlier. Let me see if I can find it real quick. They keep talking about this San Andreas fault, and they said here it is. Speaking of America, this was put out on the 16th. It says experts warn that San Andreas fault has reached highest stress level in 1,000 years. So ain't no telling what can happen because of this. That can cause a great earthquake. We're going back to this. In America, it says a significant earthquake shook Mendocino County in Northern California on Wednesday, prompting widespread alerts and reports of minor damage across the region. It says the quake struck at approximately 8:10 a.m. Pacific time, registering a preliminary magnitude of 5.6 at a depth of about 5 miles. So I'll go ahead and play this video put out 12 hours ago. It's from Mirror Now. The YouTube channel says Venezuela, Japan, and California rocked by massive earthquakes in 24 hours. Dang, 7.9 and the 7.5 within 39 seconds. 7.2 and 7.5. So yeah, man, it's going down. You know, you had anything else on that topic of the Towers of Power with the earthquakes?
No, just like you were saying, we do know that Esau has the heart and other things, and he's a master. What the scriptures say, he accomplished a diligent search, as well as that he's wise as Daniel, or wiser than Daniel. So you know, he got the heart, and he know how to create these earthquakes. You know, so and that don't negate from prophecy. All right, the Lord didn't say it had to be a natural earthquake. He just said earthquakes in diverse places. All right, and regardless where it come from, it's the Heavenly Father that does it. All right, and we know that from what Job, man's goings are not of his own, and that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. All right, the Most High run all this. All right, this is for His pleasure. And then didn't it say He beat His only begotten for His pleasure? It pleased Him. So shit, we ain't nothing. Most High did. This is all His pleasure.
That's right.
Hell yeah. But yeah, you know, it's just funny. You know, we was talking before the show, and I said, you know, it's quite a coincidence. Which when you spiritual, you know, you understand coincidence. It ain't everything is controlled. You know, by the Most High, there's no coincidence. You know, and going into the false flag, they was doing all these parallels with the championship game that just happened with the dude, shit, the one, yeah, the what's the guy, the bright skinned guy that for New York, I think he point guard or forward.
Brunson.
Right.
Jalen Brunson.
And he's number 9.
I think he like 11, 15.
11, okay. And his daddy was number 9.
Yeah.
Right. And so, you know, there's stuff like that you see is not coincidence. This is spiritual. All right. Is Esau showing you something? Because this is what they do. You know, they go back, now they show you all of the stuff we missed in the first 9/11. They show you all the stuff. They put it in so many movies, you know, hit movies, so many TV shows and stuff. So, you know, who knows? Who knows? But they work in their dark magic, definitely. They work in their dark magic, and with the U.S. throwing that coup in Venezuela, it could be just a, you know, a way for them to go in and set up shop. Because what do? They'll go in, send in the Red Cross and probably FEMA, and then they'll take over that shit. Next thing you know, no access to this, no access to that. Oh, well, my dad, I used to live right there. Yeah, I used to. But go ahead,
I got a quick on Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. To back up what you were saying.
Con. Shit, since you read that.
Bring it out. Yeah, we'll wind down in a few. We got one article left. quick Instagram clips.
All right. And this is all right. Wait, what you just read?
Micah 2:1.
Okay, read 2.
All right, come. This Micah 2, I start at 1 again. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. Verse
So they
2,
right,
and they covered fields.
Salaki, they practice their dark arts. They say they practice, you know, and what is that? Daniel 8. It speaks about doggone it, and Antiochus IV, Epiphanes. It said that through craft he shall cause, by his policy he shall cause craft to prosper. All right, this is what they do. This is who they are. All right, they're practitioners of the dark arts. They serve Satan on the left-hand side, and the entire hierarchy of demons. All right, it might be Baphomet, it might be Baal, Moloch, Dagon. They all under Satan. All right. So yeah, they be working their magic, you know. But go ahead.
Yep. It says, for it is in the power of their hands, verse 2, and they covered fields.
And the championship and all these playoffs, those are rituals. They you know, go and they conspire, which means breathe together, and they come up, okay, this year for the next thing, like the brother said, the World Cup, or this year for the World Series, you know, we got to have so and so perform, and then they rig the game up, and it's all. But right, these are rituals. This is the type of shit that they do, and they put little clues and stuff and news, all their media. All right, they put little hints of the evil that they're going to do, but that lets them kind of fly under the radar of karma.
Yeah.
But go ahead, because they preserve anyway for this time. You know, the judgment was not to touch Esau or Cain. Nobody was to touch him. That's why the Most High made him white, so we wouldn't mess around and put him to death. Most High made him a so-called white man. So yeah, if it was any other kind of mark, you can make a mistake and transgress the commandment. That the Lord said, nobody gonna take vengeance on Cain. Vengeance is the Lord's. His ass, which is Esau's ass, belongs to the Lord. Boy, that's gonna be a hellified ass whooping too. Yes, sir. I hope to be in attendance for that ass whooping. Lord will. I want to see that one. But go ahead.
God. Micah 2:2, and they cover fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
And that's Esau's. That's his legacy in the earth. Is raping, robbing, murdering. This is his legacy in the earth. And he got the whole world looking at us as, you know, the issue of the entire world. That what's wrong with this world. And he has a clear and evident track record that spells out that he's a piece of shit on every level. There's no aspect to this man that you could say, well, he's good. You can say he's diligent, but then in what? He's diligent in evil. So there ain't nothing good about this devil. But go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yep, that was like we were saying that even at Camp Tuesday, that even the things that seem beneficial.
Yeah, for good.
The so-called white man brought forth, everything got a negative effect, like cell phones, you know, this technology. It do got a negative effect. People became dumber, you know, like so on and so forth. So even the things he did bring forth, as it would seem, you know, forwarded life, at the end, it brought forth more death than anything. And even with the phone, look how much look how much people got access to with this device now. I'm talking about children with things that they shouldn't be seeing, all because of Esau.
Right. And somebody said what I said about that situation, but they articulated it better. And he said, because I said people too dumb for the smart technology, but how he worded it is, yeah, humanity wasn't prepared for this level of what they was given, and it ain't even high level. Because, you know, society, especially here in Babylon, has been deliberately dumbed down. And then you give them smart technology, right? They're going to destroy themselves. They're going to destroy themselves. They're going to participate in their what it is, your crutches, your vices, with their addictions. They're going to feed into their addictions until it destroys them. People have no discipline. This is just a sad, pathetic society. Why are women so goddamn big? It's like an epidemic. Just big ass women. Why men so soft? Walking around looking 8, 9 months pregnant. And you gonna give these people a smartphone, tablets. What are they gonna do with it? Just like AI. Asking AI stupid shit. They're not building anything to help humanity. It's because they don't have a mind to. Esau has everybody wrapped up in self. And like I said, maybe last week or the week before, this is in one of my lessons. Everybody think they goddamn preeminent. And so you can't build nothing. That's like when the Most High, you know, changed the languages up, people couldn't communicate. If everybody thinks they're preeminent, how are you gonna cooperate? I ain't doing this, you do it. It's gonna be argument. That's niggas. That's this society. But that was it. Go ahead. I can go on and on. This shit need to go, man. It's draining, it's taxing, it's vexing.
Yep.
It just suck your spirit dry. This fucking place, man. And the fucking people.
Yep.
Women, man. Women need to get off the internet. They should never gave you niggas smartphone. But you got it, brother.
John. And it's gonna get worse. And we'll end it off on this topic right here: police drones. And it's all going to the digital system, that digital prison, man. You know, as we was reading 2 Esdras 15, as World War III going on, the same thing will be taking place, or at the same time of World War III happening. You're gonna have them trying to fight for a digital system, and who's gonna be the leader of it. And then it says it's gonna be no more free access to the city for things like this. It's gonna be more lockdowns. There's gonna be more authorities out, military out on the streets. And this is the beginning of it. You got robots. We touched on that last week. You know how they got robots now, guns that they're gonna use. Well, now it's drones. You know, drones. I remember that cartoon clip we played a while back of a dystopian society, and what you noticed was drones out there. You know, they make it cool. They make it cool at first with Amazon. You know, you get your package delivered by a drone, and people, oh, that's cool, man. You know, they let everybody get some drones, right? So the police, it could be normalized when they bring theirs out. When they bring theirs out. You see?
And you're gonna start seeing police layoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Not just right now, but we'll see how far the Lord gonna allow him to bring this about. But yeah, them drones are there for the police.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need the patty rollers no more. So then they could hit you with a weapon.
Yep.
But yeah, you got it, bro.
Yep. Even flock cameras. Them flock cameras, they don't need no cops to run the license. They doing all that better than the cops
They're
doing
all of it. Fine.
You see? But I'll read a little bit into it. It says, according to a report from SF Gate, California, law enforcement agencies are pioneering the use of drones in high-risk situations, marking what officials describe as a nationwide first in tactical applications. Keyword, first. Making what officials describe as a nationwide first in tactical application. The thing is, they sent it as California popped it off, but you get examples. All this already going on in Orlando. They're using them. We'll play a couple of these videos, right? And that's Las Vegas. There's another one, Texas, but two, right? Florida. We said Orlando, but mainly a lot of them in San Francisco. I looked that up too. But it says on Monday, authorities highlighted, I think San Francisco, one of the main places. It says authorities highlighted a dramatic incident where a drone successfully disarmed an armed suspect, underscoring a growing shift toward technology-driven responses that prioritize officer and public safety. It says in Sacramento County, sheriff deputies face a tense standoff with a suspect who refused to cooperate with negotiators. Officers deployed a drone in a cluttered residence where pilots located the individual hiding in a corner of the garage. Using a high-powered magnet attached to the device. So see, it ain't just regular drones, man, like the people got from, Walmart,
right,
or Best Buy. You don't get a drone. No, they got weapons on theirs. Again, we read last week, Ukraine got some robots with guns attached. In America, they just put in their order for them. We want some too. We want some too. Again, these things ain't like the regular drones or robots that the people have. It says using a high-powered magnet attached to the device, the drone operator managed to snatch a knife directly from the suspect's hand. So what you need cops for? It says video footage released by the department shows the
right.
weapon.
You didn't need no cops.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Really, they just taking up space.
Yeah.
It's like
useless eaters now.
Mm-hmm.
Them drones don't make them useless eaters. But you got it.
Like it says the drone operator managed to snatch a knife directly from the suspect's hand. Video footage released by the department shows the weapon spinning as the drone carries it back to the waiting deputies. After not responding to negotiators, a drone was deployed inside the residence, going in the houses.
Mm-hmm.
The operation, captured within the Mission Impossible theme, plan in the back illustrates the precision and daring now possible with these aerial tools, man. I wish we had the video. I should have looked for it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but I'll show some examples of it though. And it's not just in California. It says the Orlando PD launched their drone first responders program, which featured 11 drones that can be activated from 9 docking stations throughout the city. It says it was a $7 million program that they doing. So they ain't just putting money into it for no reason. Let's look at
Meet OPD's drone as a first responder, or DFR program.
DFR's got eyes on a vehicle northbound Mellow Drive from Skeena Street.
DFR drones remain ready to launch from docking stations within seconds of certain 911 calls. No setup, no delay. Just real-time information when officers need it most.
You see? Catching niggas.
Already, our DFR drones have been used to track multiple stolen vehicles, like this one, taken during a home break-in. And this one, driven by a convicted felon who had fentanyl, meth, and a pistol inside the car.
Show me your hands, Orlando police, hands up!
DFR has also provided officers with critical information during drug operations, helping capture suspected dealers, even those who tried to run. And with the assistance of officers in our crime center, our DFR program has been used to locate suspects accused of violent crimes, like battery, aggravated assault, and even shootings. This is just the beginning of our DFR program. The goal? To improve OPD's emergency response, officer decision-making, and overall public safety outcomes for the people we serve.
See that? And man, it was a video I seen like a week ago. It was some niggas in the hood in San Francisco. And they were saying how gang banging and how it used to be. You know, Jay can't just spin a block, steal a car and then try to ride on their homies. I mean, not on their homies, on their the ops. You know, ride on the ops. He said they can't do that no more. He said because the cameras they got and these drones they got. This was a week ago. I seen. Man, I wish I still had it. But he was like, yeah, it's different now, right? And again, Esau putting this out, and he want the people to think, see, this for y'all safety. But no, this for your imprisonment, man.
That's it.
Somebody said GTA dropping. Now here they go.
Oh yeah, it ain't out yet.
Nah, it's. I think it come out in September, I believe. But you know, already got people pre-ordering it. You know, so but yeah, this another one in Las Vegas. They used a drone to catch a nigga running. He stole something. No, I'll keep saying that.
Yeah.
I keep saying it like that because when you look into it, that's where they putting them at in minority neighborhoods, though. You know, because again, this is for Jake. This is gonna be used in Jacob's trouble, man.
Yeah. That's contributing to Jacob's trouble.
Mm-hmm.
It's a DFR.
You're now advising them.
Yeah, that I ain't gotta play it. And all this in the chat too, if y'all want to check it out.
6 in 4 different locations. This is all part of their efforts towards getting a real-time operations center. So we are asking where they will be located and why they're needed now.
We'll play it again.
What we're about to see here right now, 2 drones with the Cedar Rapids Police Department.
So they on top of police departments, they
in the air to snipe you and take pictures of your plate if you are speeding. This is insane. I can't believe we're seeing that right now. Right above the highway. Careful out there. Florida is now giving tickets on the highway by drone. There's no cop cars anymore. They literally have this thing in the air to snipe you and take pictures of your plate if you are speeding. This is insane.
And on this last one, you had a dude in Florida, it looked like Northern Kingdom, but the drone was over them, and he shot it with a BB gun, and he got arrested.
The suspect was arrested after he had allegedly pointed and fired his gun at a police drone.
Yeah, you're shooting at our drone. Yeah, it's me, it's police. But he's shooting at that. Oh, yeah, it's on video. Yeah.
According to the Lee County Sheriff's Department, their drone as first responder is a new technology they've implemented to help protect and serve residents. They say the suspect fired 2 rounds in the direction of the aircraft as it was being used to assist the officers with the call. That's when they stepped in.
Take it out of your pocket. Yep. Get rid of that.
Alvin Antonio Calle Hasarado was taken into custody, and authorities say a BB rifle loaded with steel projectiles was recovered. He was charged with shooting or throwing deadly missiles into an aircraft. According to the
they charged that man with shooting or throwing deadly missiles into an aircraft.
Domestic terrorism.
Oh man.
God damn.
So they go flying. Yeah, you get it. Look, at the times, but they go flying around. You can't do nothing, and if you do, it's on you. You gonna get judged now.
Damn.
It is draconian type laws. I got one real quick because we saw about the ticket though. Revelation 12:12, the house scripture. Revelation 12:12, it says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them, and woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil," which is the so-called white man, "for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time." And we about to see some things, man. Think about if you, I like to say, if you losing in a game, and say football, you losing, that's your time to pull out all your trick plays, your fumarooskies, right? Your down set, coach, this the wrong ball. And you take it, run to the sideline, act like you about to switch the balls, and then, right, Esau about to pull out all this technology he been saving, right? The drones, robots, his legislation, everything to bring forth in his mind is new world order, man. He know time ain't on his side. So we about to see a lot happening in a short period of time, you know. But it says because he know that he have but a short time. That was it. That's all I had. That was Zaquan.
Yeah, Con, brother. I ain't got nothing.
Con.
You want to close it out?
Yeah, I close it out. Hey, well, you know, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. This information, you know, was helpful, needful. The water for tuning in to the Akim Akwath. But hey, with that, once again, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Hey, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings to all you Akim out there who pushing his word with all truth and sincerity, and as well as all you believers out there who believe in the gospel. Hey, keep fighting, keep pushing, man. We're almost out of here. Things getting exciting.
Right. That's right.
At the end of the movie, that's when the best scenes happen at the end of the movie. So, hey, you know, let's see.
Yeah, that's the good part.
That's
the end of the movie, that's always the best part.
God, you know. So, hey, let's see what the Lord do next, man. With that, hey, shalom.
Shalom.